the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Jon Mozes of the Altoona Curve is on the line with us. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. John, good morning. Are you dry yet?
Yes, I am plenty dry, for sure, today.
But we can't say the same for People's Natural Gas Field.
Took a little bit of water last night. We'll see how it plays out today. But we're supposed to be Los Peces Dorados, our new Copa de la Diversión brand tonight, with some very cool uniforms. I'm hoping we can get on the field with those tonight.
Now, do you get an actual broadcaster's uniform too? Because that would be a crime if you did not.
No, I get the company-issued polo shirt, which we actually do have specialty ones for our Copa brand, Los Peces Dorados, which is goldfish in Spanish, paying homage to our favorite Altoona.
You betcha.
So I do have a specialty polo to wear today.
You betcha. Hey, I want to talk ball with you, but I also want to talk about the experience of going to the field and watching the Curve play, because that is an experience there. And one of the places I think I want to start is with the staff. You've got so many wonderful folks there at the ballpark that are there to help people to their seats, clean them off for them if needed, serve them in whatever way they can. You've got some really good people there.
And it all goes back to the Lozanacs. That is one of the very important things that they installed in our culture in Curve PA is that, people, when they come into the ballpark, they should feel welcomed. They should see familiar faces on a regular basis. And, for folks that have been coming to Curve games, you're probably nodding your heads along because you can see the same ushers, the same security folks, people from around town. And, here in this Altoona community, we are pretty tightly knit, as you know, and you tend to, it's hard to go to a Curve game and not see somebody that And I think that sort of really makes the experience so much better because it feels like this is your home team when you come to a Curve game.
Yeah. Hey, our section we go to, it's the same guy every single year. And it's wonderful. You renew old acquaintances every time you go to a Curve game. It's great stuff. And
it's one of the best parts about opening day for me, partner. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's like a family reunion the first week of the season where you just get to see all your summer friends again,
Yeah. Well, you've had the chance to renew those acquaintances this week in the first week of baseball at Altoona, and unfortunately haven't been able to get all the baseball in that you've wanted to, but you've seen some pretty good ball and a couple of big come-from-behind wins this week, huh?
Yeah, all three of Altoona's wins, they have trailed by at least 3 runs in the game, which is just a great sign, right? I mean, it shows that, the players understand there's 9 innings in a game. You're going to get another at bat late in the game, and it's just about, making the most of every plate appearance you get in a game. And, I sort of love to see that sort of perseverance early in the year here because, I think it's an indication that there's a really good team here. The pitching has been a little bit limited early on. Starters are only going about 60 or 65 pitches the first time through the rotation here. So we're seeing a little bit more of those bullpen guys early in the season here. But, I have a feeling that we're going to continue to hit. Aaron Shackelford hit 2 homers here on opening night on Tuesday. That was a pretty fun performance. I think Seth Beer and Abraham Gutierrez and Jace Bowen, those other guys that are sort of hitting in the middle of the order, are in for some big, impactful power seasons. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the Curve's chances to have a winning year.
Yeah, and some of the guys that you mentioned, like Shackelford, for instance, he's a guy that is not a great, highly rated prospect, but he's a guy that can play some ball, and he's got a pretty good stick.
Absolutely. I mean, he hit 26 home runs in 2022 for the Curve. That's the second highest total by a player in franchise history. And he had a pretty difficult second half of the season last year at AAA. And, failure is part of the game of baseball and sort of how you react to it after you have experienced it. And, Aaron is not the type of guy to sort of, wallow in self-pity for being assigned to AA after playing at AAA last year. He's just a guy who's going to dig in and go to work. And, I sort of love that attitude that he's had about him early in the season here. He's just sort of in a headspace of, I'm going to be where my feet are. And right now that's here in Altoona, and I'm going to do what I do. And, the baseball gods will sort of dictate how it goes after that, but I'm just going to give my best effort every day. So that's just a great attitude to have in the clubhouse.
Yeah, one of the great things I love about Double-A baseball is for a lot of these guys that have been high draft choices and it hasn't worked out for them yet, it's just a matter of finding an ingredient. And once they find that and they sprinkle that into the game, all of a sudden they catch fire a little bit and they open a few eyes, and you never know. They could be moving up quick.
Totally. And, I was talking to Kyron Madison, who managed the Curve back in 2022 and is now an outfield and base running coordinator for the Pirates. He's in town working with the guys this week. And he was saying something that really stuck with me about how sometimes as a baseball coach or as an instructor, you just got to plant the seed of this is what you need to do to be successful. And eventually the player will figure out, okay, this is how I need to do it to be successful, and now I can do it in a game. Sort of that incremental change. But, I sort of liked how he posed that as a coach, where he's just like, listen, this is what I can do to help a guy along by planting a seed with him that, hey, in this situation, this is how, an opponent is probably going to pitch you. And situations like that. And it just takes a little bit of time for players to get used to that kind of thing.
When we think about the Curve and their pitching staff, of course, there are some names that we have heard for a while. There are some new names that are popping up, though, as well. And one of those names got a start the other day, Po Yu Chen. And Valentin Linares, also another name that we're starting to hear a little bit more from the Curve. These are guys that have arms.
Absolutely. Po Yu was sort of an up and down first outing. He was sort of struggling to throw his fastball for strikes, so he was behind in the count the first time through the order. But the curveball is really good, and I think that's going to give him a chance for success. Valentin Linares is one of these guys who was a starting pitcher for a long time, somebody that the Pirates thought, could eventually be a starter down the road, but his stuff really plays coming out of the bullpen, 94 to 96 miles an hour. It's a very good breaking ball. And, I think his ability to go 2 innings is pretty important, especially early in the season here. Sometimes you look for that with guys when they first come out of the bullpen, will the stuff back off when they go out for a second inning? Wasn't the case with Valentin in either of his first 2 outings this year. So I am thrilled to see more of that guy on our staff. He looks like he's got a bright future.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, there are some big names within the Pirate system. Bubba Chandler, one of them, who was scheduled to pitch last night. You'd love to see the guy be able to pitch a game again on this homestand. Braxton Ashcraft, of course, is a name that everybody's starting to notice. And Harrington won't get a chance for a while, but eventually you might be able to see Thomas Harrington up there, too. Those are some top names that the Pirates have in their system.
Yeah, this wave of talent is some really good pitching for Altoona. Braxton Ashcraft and Bubba Chandler both have the type of elite fastball that's going to play in the major leagues. It's just a matter of sort of some of those other things coming together. For me, I'm dreaming on a front of a rotation that's Paul Skeens, Bubba Chandler, and Jared Jones, and just sort of thinking about how, you think of those 3 guys plus a Mitch Keller in a rotation in Pittsburgh, and you're saying to yourself, wow, we have a good chance to win 4 out of 5 days this week. Those guys have such bright futures. I really am excited to watch their journey this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It really is. The Altoona portion of that chase is really going to be fun. You've got some veteran guys that have been there a while. You've got some fellas who came up mid-season last year that people are really excited about as well, including the shortstop, Sung-Chae Cheng. I like him. I like Jackson Glenn, too.
Oh, yes. I love those 2 guys up the middle, mostly because they are trusty defenders. A ball going up Sung-Chae Cheng had a couple of terrific plays defensively on Tuesday night in Altoona. I think that Sung-Chae, with his ability to draw walks, is pretty important. He had a stretch of 10 straight plate appearances where he reached base safely, 7 walks, 2 hits, and reached once on an error, which shows that he is locked in to start the year, which is really cool to see. And I was loving what I saw from Jackson Glenn last year. And, you and I are probably going to be talking about him all summer, partner. I think we're going to be looking at the league leaders in June and July, and we're going to see Jackson Glenn's name near the top of the league in hits, in on-base percentage, in runs scored. He's just a terrific ball player.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch just the way these guys develop, because we're probably going to get a little bit more of an extended look at some of these fellows, because Indianapolis is so stocked with big talent. They're getting blocked a little bit, and that's why they're playing for the Curve, and that's to our benefit. So what's happening this weekend besides baseball that we're hoping to get in? I know there are great promotions for this first weekend, too.
Well, yeah, so tonight is the creation of our Copa de la Diversión branding. This is, a minor league baseball-wide initiative where we pay homage to Latino players in the game, and we celebrate Latin heritage in the game. And, as a Pirates affiliate, we love to celebrate that kind of thing. We've got several guys on our roster that hail from Puerto Rico and from Venezuela and Colombia. So that, you'll see that with the really new, exciting uniforms tonight. We've got great hats in the store that you can go out and buy. Tomorrow, on Saturday, is our Paul Skeens Bobble Mustache giveaway. And listen, we are playing a doubleheader on Saturday. That's scheduled right now to start at 3 o'clock with gates opening at 2. So if you are planning to come to that game, we encourage you to arrive early to ensure that you get the bobblehead giveaway. They're going to go fast. We expect a lot of fans to line up, beginning at probably 1 or 1:30 for gates to open at 2 o'clock, and you get 2 games for the price of 1. So that's sort of a keepsake, because it's the first ever bobblehead that Paul Skeens has had in his life. He was telling me about that when I saw him down at spring training in Bradenton this year. So he's kind of fired up to see it. He sent us a great video about how excited he is to see it given away and for him to get one eventually. That's coming on Saturday. Should be a really fun weekend for Curve PA. We're going to cross our fingers on some weather here. Hopefully we can get him in on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, be a lot of fun. And it's always a lot of fun talking to you, John. Little Curve baseball every Friday morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Have a great weekend. It is Indiana in the Morning. It's WCCS. It's 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. We're about 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. Fox News coming your way then. And then it's a brief look at news with Josh and the Brian Kilmeade Show.